So, behind me are two things. Our Mk7R, Mark 7.5, and a full JL system. So JL asked me a question a little while ago, why do you use the product you use? And it has a really long-winded answer that spans the whole history of the business. There isn't a product in here that we sell that I don't personally vouch for, right? That I haven't used and thought we will use that again and we'll use it consistently. And you know, being a watcher or a subscriber of this channel, you'll have seen consistent products, and it's because we know A, primarily they sound good, B, they're reliable. Okay, in a professional environment we need things to be reliable. We have systems all over the country, we have them in other countries. These things, you know, when we're building international cars, they need to be even more robust. So there's few things that we require for a product to make it in here and to stay in here. The third one, and arguably the most important to me, is that it isn't annoying, it isn't a pain in the arse to use. Alright? Things that are a faff to use, especially for the client, are just a nightmare for me. I don't want to become a PA to hundreds of systems out there because they're difficult to use. Alright? So certain things you don't see through here and you may wonder, oh, why don't they use this? That'll probably be the reason. Alright? So that was my answer to their question, you know, and you know, their reply to my answer would be, well, you know, we do some solid kit too, why don't you try it out? And I said, yeah, that's why we've got the system behind us, and that's why it's going to go in our Mk7. How are you ever meant to move forward if you don't evaluate what you do and try new things? So we're trying new things, and we're going to try these new things with let me rewind a little bit. We've used JL subwoofers forever. All right, JL makes some of the best subwoofers in the world. They're known for it. Most of us, me and you, have had a JL subwoofer at some point, but we probably haven't had JL tweeters, or maybe you're probably more likely to have had some JL amps, probably a slash amp at some point. They have crazy history, all right? And another wonderful thing about JL is they let their products run for ages. So, you know, I think we were 25 years with the Slash series amplifiers. The W7, who can't remember a W7? You know, they've been running for so long, and they do tiny tweaks to great recipes, right? I don't want to sound like I'm fanboying super hard and all of a sudden I've turned my back on everything. This product isn't in here because this is our new thing and that's what we're going to be doing from now on. Our systems stand. How we use our systems, how we supply our product, it stands exactly how it always has done. Alright, so every other video you see will have, you know, similar kit, because that's a recipe that we've worked with. So, you know, going back to the JL product, my first system personally was 6 E-series amplifiers. They did something called an E1200, and the E1200 was a full range monoblock. When I heard of that, being from hi-fi and being into hi-fi for much longer than I have car audio, monoblocks are great. An individual amp for a speaker, it was the best thing ever. I didn't have a DSP. I had an Akamichi head unit, and I had an analog EQ, but it was a 6-channel active EQ, and I can't remember what it was. I bought it from, it might have been an Arc Audio EQ, and I bought it from a friend of mine, and my teacher really, who taught me, you know, a lot of the things that I know, and Strudwick from Sexton's in Portsmouth years and years ago. He doesn't work there anymore. That was running, 4 of those monoblocks were running my ZR mid basses in door builds in a Mark II Jetta, and ZR tweeters in tweeter builds in a Mark II, which are a pain in the arse to build because there's just a slither of an A-pillar, and 2 RE Audio SE or Triple X, I can't remember which one of the 2, subwoofers. But I did at one point have a W7, a 13.5 W7 in a sealed enclosure, and I swear it's just the best thing I've ever heard. Hence why we've used JL subwoofers forever, but we haven't used their amps and we don't use their speakers. Why? Maybe because they're too familiar. Maybe I'm too familiar with them. Maybe I think that other products are better at the price point. Maybe I prefer the sound of them products. So all of these things span a really long time with me and with Studio In-Car and with our team. It's the team and myself that decide the products that we use. You know, are we installing good product? Is it going to be reliable? Are we going to have a good time installing it? We don't want to be having to, you know, stress an amp into a car or a DSP into a car if we don't want to use it. We don't want 300 firmware updates a year. That's not what we want. Okay, we want nice, solid, reliable kit. You know, and I would argue that you would possibly sacrifice a tiny amount of SQ for reliability. You know, if it can sound 100% but it works 10% of the time, you know, can we deal with 95 and it works 100% of the time? I'm pretty sure that's what I would prefer to do. Anyway, that's enough on the kit that we do sell, okay, and we consistently sell it and they all sound really bloody good. It's time to test this stuff. Now, I've got to be honest, the C7s when they came out, I was interested in them. The C7 mid-bass, the tweeter. I heard a C7 two-way set. It wasn't set up very well, but it was in a car, and you can tell there's certain cues from certain speakers and you think, I know that these can sound good. So I'm looking forward to the front end. We've got the three-way C7 set, so we've got the mid-range, the tweeter, and the mid-bass. The mid-range and tweeter look really nice in terms of being able to install them. They're not this big, so they're not an Esotar 110, which is arguably the best tweeter you can buy for car audio, but it's 110 millimeters. It's massive. You just can't get them in normal cars. The mid-range is lovely, slender. I'm pretty sure it's a 3.5. It might be a 3. Yeah, it's a 3.5. Quite confusing because it's called a 350 cm. It certainly isn't 350 centimeters. So yeah, this is a diddly little thing. This one's open, so I'll get it out for you. We're using the VXI 606, so a 6-channel DSP capable amplifier, and we're using a VXI 601, so the monoblock amplifier as well, which also is DSP equipped. They network together with the network hub, which we've also got, and various controllers. So we've got like a Bluetooth RC controller. I don't know what it is, but we'll get it in there and we'll get it working. I don't know what the VXIs are like. I don't know what the DSP is like. I don't know if they're hard to fit, as in if they're going to give us loads of stick when it comes to setting up. I don't know how intuitive the GUI is for the DSP. You know, I don't know what any of that stuff's like. So I'm really hoping that we have a good time with it, and I'm really hoping it's as good as those guys obviously, you know, think the product is that they have. We use Dyne Audio, Esotar stuff, we use Audison stuff, Thesis stuff, AV stuff, we use AP stuff in drop fit systems, we use Hertz Melee a lot because that price point for that speaker, I just don't really think it can be beaten for, you know, other than white box speakers from the other end of the world, which you just can't get and you can't really get warranty on. So yeah, it's bold, you know, it's bold of them to do it. So I'm really hoping it's fantastic. But that's a gorgeous looking mid-range. I'm pretty sure it's Neo. It feels as heavy as a ferrite, but it's tiny. So I'd have to double check that. But that is going to be a pleasure to install. You know, the depth of it's great, the size of it's lovely. It looks small for a 3.5, but we'll see. Another bonus about the C7 series is they come with 2 sets of grills. So if you're bored of this, the Mercedes Burmester style grill, and you're a bit of an old man and you prefer a normal pressed, bloody difficult to get out circular grill holes, like that, like me, that's got me all over it, that has, full of class. Then you can chop and change. These are a signature to the C7, so these are a little bit more in line with a C7 based installation, but these are lovely. In any car, a normal sort of grill like that is just, it's the one for me. So yeah, we'll try them. I mean, we're going to install this in such a way that it is on display. So they will be on pillars. We will be able to put these in. We'll be able to change them out. So as the mood takes us, we'll kind of do what we want with them, you know? Right. Anyway, that's a brief bit on the mid-ranges. We'll have a little look at the rest of the kit, and then we'll have a look at the car, and I'll show you what my idea is. I mean, that's never. I wish I could remember how that went in there. So you'll have to bear with the fan, all right, because it's 1,000 degrees in here. But here we go. So we've got the hub, the VXI hub, which links the amps together. VX606 6-channel DSP amplifier, which will run our 3-way front end. 601, which is going to run one of the best subwoofers that's ever been made. Sealed 10W6 V3. In a sealed application, I just don't think there's anything that can touch it really as a little 10-inch SQ sub. There's plenty of competitors out there and plenty of good stuff out there, but that's a badass subwoofer. The DRC 205, not gonna lie, don't even know what it does. It looks Gucci, and I think it has various things that you can turn the front one, turn the back one, stuff like that. But we'll figure that out. That's what this exercise is about. The VXI BTC, it's a Bluetooth controller which enables you to connect to your amplifiers with some form of device, phone, app-based thing. I'm not too sure. Again, we'll get to the bottom of that. I took this mid bass out for you so you can see it. Again, we've got the grill section which screws on the front. So when we do a door build, we can mount the mid bass because there's 4 extra holes in there, and then we can mount the grill which fixes the grill on, because it's tricky to get a solid mid bass mount in sometimes when you're going through the grill, and sometimes grills inherently will cause sealing problems between the mid bass and the actual door build itself. So that's quite well thought out, and then we can chop and change fancy pants rings to your sort of typical snazzy freshness over there. Yeah, so that's the C7 mid basses. These are the tweeters, the C7 tweeter. So which one do we have that's open? I'll tell you what, we'll do an unboxing of this stuff anyway further down the line. So the car itself is a Mk7R or Mark 7.5R silver grey. All right, the best colour that they made these cars in my opinion. It's APR stage 1. It's had a bunch of little engine things done. It's about 380 brake at the minute. Yeah, relatively new to us, but a wicked car, gets used every day. What we're probably going to do is similar to our Mk7 Club Sport. We're probably going to put the mid-range and tweeter on the pillar over there, and we're probably going to expose the mid-bass. Now, these have a really tight door pocket. I know it's dark, but you can just about see that. They have quite a tight door pocket, so when you're mounting a normal mid-bass in a Mk7 door, you have to make an adapter that's really slim because it hits the door card and you can't get the door card back on. We're probably going to buy some new door cards. These are really nice, these ones, so I don't really want to cut them up. So we're probably going to buy some of them, and then we will cut them, and then we'll make a door build, and then we'll make a grill section that goes over that houses the JL grill, so we can chop and change between the two grills, you know. These will, of course, they'll just be fully damped and deadened and whatnot. I don't think we're going to put a kick in here. If for some reason the workshop slows down, then maybe we will, because it is a far better location than the door in these cars. Anyway, here's the boot. So, right, bear with me. We may end up doing a floor mounted subwoofer and a floor mounted build and have everything at just slightly higher than this level. Where this is an R, the diff and everything is underneath the floor, so the floor's slightly higher. But what you do still have in these cars is a secondary boot floor with a load of space, and nobody needs a spare wheel, do they really? So we'll get rid of that. Or we may go for side enclosure, a custom side enclosure, cut that floor down so that it still works, it still lifts up and down, and then have our install underneath the floor. I'm not too sure how we're going to do that bit, but we'll go for it. This will all be, the whole interior will come out of this car as well, and it'll all be fully deadened, so floor, roof, the lot, whatever, we'll get through it. The unit we're going to run from the OEM unit, and then we're probably going to put a secondary DAC in for sort of high-res stuff. These run from the MIB unit that's in the glove box, and we'll run high level to the amplifiers from there, or we'll code it and get some sort of low level output from the MIB unit, because the actual functionality of the virtual cockpit and the head unit and everything is really nice in these cars. So yeah, it would be a shame to pull any of that out. I've seen some companies fit in the Mk7 Alpine unit to Mk7.5, and they just don't work properly. You lose integration between the units, between the dash, between the radio and stuff. So yeah, so hopefully in the next one what we'll do is I'll unbox some pieces of kit. We might have something going on in the car as well, so therein lies the beginning of this project. All right, it's 31 degrees today in UK money, so that's probably 400,000 in US money. So go and enjoy yourselves and have a nice weekend. It's Friday and I'm going to go home now. I only stayed here to record this video for you. So like and subscribe, because that's what we need for YouTube, to show more people, wonderful people like yourself, what we do. And that's what we want. We want people to see what we do, so they come in, they book in, they buy some equipment from us, we make new friends, and it's all good. All right, take it easy.